maybe we are just so blind, and Don Lemon really is a brilliant, incredible journalist, and Elon Musk is a racist who hates women and advertisers, or whatever else he was trying to prove.
This is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I think that's the goal, you gon' take the mark, I take narrow roads, I'm a man of God, I can never fold.
Are you ready to rumble, Zachary? Are you ready?
Let's go.
Welcome back to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where I'm still Matt Marchese, and we still talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and still freedom.
Yes, sir.
I'm your host, Matt Marchese, which I already said. This is my co-host, Zach. Dude, when I go off script on that intro, remember how hard it was for me at the beginning to get? It was pretty tough.
Yeah, you struggled mightily.
Yeah. And you were like, bang, bang, bang. You got it. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Today, we're back. We're back. And we're back for part 2 of this amazing and exhilarating journey with the Don Lemon and Elon Musk in this interview. What are your thoughts so far on the first half?
It's painful to
God,
listen to, but
it is painful. It's bad enough Musk is like listening to a robot, you know? It's bad enough that he is not he's not exactly the most thrilling person, but I do know that he is harsh enough with his language to draw some attention.
Yeah.
You know, he's direct enough. So at least we have that, like where when Don Lemon says something stupid, he says, "No, that's stupid." Like that doesn't make any sense. So I'm excited about that. What else? Do you have any thoughts otherwise on the first half of the show?
No, let's get it cracking.
All right. And where we left off was Don Lemon talking about studies, and we left off talking about how studies can be, and not can be, studies are manipulated. Like studies don't just get pulled out of someone's ass and thrown onto whatever purpose they have for the study. Studies are funded. They are paid for oftentimes, maybe all of the time. I would go as far as to say 99% of the time, guess, by the people who want that study to look a certain way. Therefore, they pay and control the studies to make them look that way. Don't be fooled by studies.
Right.
Okay? 99% of climate scientists would agree that we are in a climate crisis. Why would climate scientists agree to that? Because if we aren't in a climate scientist or climate crisis, thank you for words are hard, then climate scientists don't have a job.
Right.
Okay? So we quote it all the time. Upton Sinclair said once, it's difficult to make a man understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. So take that concept and apply it here, and you'll find your way to the truth. Anyway, let's get cracking back in this episode. Oh, as always, we're not drinking today. We're fasting, but as always, please like and share the show. Do your thing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like and share Don Lemon's show today, because that's what this is. Let's go.
We don't want to put out that on the scale.
It doesn't concern you that hate speech has gone. Research shows that it's gone up on the platform since you took over. That's not concerning to you?
I believe that is false. In fact, the research that I've seen says it went down.
The study from the Institute of Strategic Dialogue found that anti-Semitic tweets doubled from June 22 to February 2023. One study reported that as many as 86% of the posts reported for hateful content remained up after being reported. Hate speech on the platform is up.
So what they will typically do is they will count the number of posts, but not count the number of views. So
They will
what matters
typically
is,
manipulate
was that,
the study.
post given high visibility, or what did like one person see it? And if you look at the number of views of how many times was hate content viewed on our platform, it is down substantially.
Yeah. Well, that's not was what the study shows. And you said you like transparency. I'm going to show you this. And
Don, you
Dude,
can
that's
study
not what
it.
they
We'll
studied. He said that's not what the study shows and then passes. No, Don Lemon. That is not what they studied.
Yeah.
It's not what the study doesn't show. You're looking at something that wasn't studied and you are pawning it off as something that was studied by saying that's not what the studies show. That's not what the studies show because that's not what the entity that paid for the study wanted it to show.
Right.
Hopefully you all understand this by now. I think we ended the show with the same rant and we're starting the show with the same rant. But you have to understand this. Like, this is so important in a world where people are bold-faced lying to hundreds of millions of people at a time and pointing to studies as justification or to certify their lie. You have to understand the concept that and Don Lemon does an exceptional job of proving, of showing what this actually looks like because he's stupid, because he's dumb. He's not talented. He's not even a talented liar. And that's why I kind of actually hope Don Lemon's show doesn't just tank and crash and burn and come off the air.
Should we get more of these gems?
Yeah, because he does such an amazing job of lying and being caught lying. Being
obviously lying.
Right, obviously lying. And because of people like Don Lemon, and it's, listen, as a whole, it's difficult to prove a negative. Like, liars always get caught lying. Because to prove that something that isn't true is true,
It's tough.
it's hard to prove a negative. Yeah, it really is. But anyway, all right, let's listen to the rest of this idiot.
Tell you whatever you want.
But these are just a handful of extremely. You look at those anti-Semitic and racist tropes and tweets.
I love how he
And
had
as
like
of this morning, they're
printouts ready
still
for him
on
to
X.
look at.
So stupid.
And from your own content policy, these posts should have been deleted. So why haven't they been deleted? Why are they still there? Did you?
We delete things if they are illegal.
But these have been up there for a while.
Are they illegal?
They're not illegal, but they're hateful, and they can lead to
hateful.
violence. As I just read to you, the shooters, in all of these mass shootings.
Everything can lead to violence. If you take this premise and extract it across all of mainstream media, this guy, Don Lemon, is making a claim that those memes that are posted on the internet are leading to violence, therefore they should be censored. As if CNN and Fox News and their reportings do not lead to violence and death. What? This is hate. No. I just can't even. Like, it's so frustrating to me that anyone on earth believes this. The mainstream media has done nothing for 10 straight years but divide us and incite violence and riots and looting and murder and death. Nothing.
Yep.
That's all they do. Maybe longer. That's as long as I've been paying attention.
Right.
Attributed social media to radicalizing.
So Don, you love censorship, is what you're saying.
No, I don't love censorship.
Then why are you asking?
I believe in moderation, but I don't believe in
Censorship moderation is a propaganda word for censorship.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Free speech is one thing, right? Or not,
Look, if
not
something's
censorship.
illegal, we're going to take it down.
I think I
It's
said
not
that.
illegal.
Moderation. He's saying, you're not going to moderate this? It's
Yeah.
propaganda. He's lying.
Yeah.
You're not going to censor this? That's what he means.
Then we're putting our thumb on the scale and we're being censors.
You're putting your thumb on the scale for moderating hate speech. I mean, you don't put out child pornography. That's not.
It's illegal.
Some people would say that's considered censorship. I'm just saying.
No, I literally, Don, I literally said, if something is legal, okay, we will obviously remove it.
Okay.
But if it is not legal, the laws in this country are put forward by the citizens. We're a democracy.
For now.
If those laws are put in place by the people, we adhere to those laws.
Okay, I
And we
agree.
adhere to the
Agreed.
laws of others. If you go beyond the law, you're actually going beyond the will of the people.
Okay, agreed with the law.
Seems simple.
But if you are doing something that promotes hate and violence and ultimately leads to killing, you don't feel you have any responsibility not to do that? When the people who are doing it
I think the
admittedly are
mainstream media,
saying
there's articles all the time that lead to violence and killing. Don't they? Shouldn't they? It's like you're applying a differential standard to.
But that would never be in mainstream media. These types of images, that type of language, those things would never be. We'd never, when I was in mainstream media, we'd never promote things that would be anti-Semitic. We would never promote things that would.
Anti-Semitic either.
Did you not see those?
You said promote. If content is on the platform, that doesn't mean we promote it.
Do you see?
Did you look at what I just showed you? I made printouts for you, Elon.
And Musk nails it though, dude. This is one thing. Again, I can't believe that Elon Musk is this good of an actor, to where that sharp, like this would have to be a script, a well-rehearsed script for Don Lemon to say, like, obviously they are taking two separate sides, whether they've been pitted against each other. I mean, it's very clear that they are on separate sides. Did you not see what I just showed you? And he goes, did you said the word promoted. We're not promoting that. We're not ramping up the views on that, which we know we can do.
Mm-hmm.
We're not forcing people to see this.
So what you're telling me, though, is you're coming around to Elon Musk, huh?
Dude.
You on the Musk bus? Come on.
No, I'm not on the Musk. I want to be on the Musk bus. I do. Because I agree with the things that Musk is saying.
Right. Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I mean, I think we look at him in the same view we look at Donald Trump. Like,
yeah,
we want to believe him, and we want everything that he's saying to be authentic, and he's saying the things we agree with. So,
except for the fact what we have is two sides, which are certainly dividing, built on lies. This whole discussion is just dividing the country.
I would love to see him interview Donald Trump.
Don Lemon?
Yeah. How do we get that?
Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather... I hate everyone. I hate everyone, bro. Why? So he can sell Donald Trump and he can it's going to be the same shit over and over again.
I know, but Trump's responses would be more hilarious than Elon Musk's.
I think Don Lemon is the weakest link in all. I mean, as I think Musk said in the tweet in the last series, the last episode, it said like it would be great for people like influential people or whatever famous people on the left like Rachel Maddow and Don Lemon to be on this. I think those two people could not be better for the anti-globalist or nationalist or pro-America agenda, and couldn't be worse for the woke left agenda.
Because they're such asshats.
And now, if you look at Musk, and again, we take on the master assumption that he isn't a part of the plan. I think he called those two people out. Like, he's like, yeah, the only reason I'm doing this interview, dude, is because you're on my platform and I'm benefiting from it. And I don't have to answer your questions, but there might be some sort of like chess piece.
Like he knew Don Lemon was going to get on here and make a fool of
He
himself.
knew he's the worst. He's like, I'm going to give you 1 hour because that's it. Because I'm busy. But yeah, maybe he's like, dude, you're the softest softball turd that could ever do a fucking interview with me. Like, I've given real tough interviews and you ain't going to be one of them. So yeah, I think Don Lemon, I would love to see Donald Trump eat this dude's lunch. Because Trump usually comes like, dude, he comes prepared for these interviews, for the opposites and debates. Like, he comes strapped.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right, I'm with you.
He might have some printouts of his own.
I'll send an email. I'll see if I can get that done.
Okay, appreciate you.
Right after he, in the email to Musk requesting
CC.
I'll CC Lemon about Trump. We'll get
Okay.
it done.
But that wouldn't be on a platform for mainstream media at all.
No, but you can think of that's because the mainstream media has like whatever 20 articles a day. We have 500 million posts today.
Okay,
500
understood.
million.
Does it bother you?
500
How do you feel about
million
that
posts a
when you
day?
see it?
I obviously disagree with that. I think it's not good at all. It's terrible.
But you don't want to get rid of it on the platform, or at least moderate it.
Moderate.
Rules,
Censor.
what you're suggesting is censorship that goes
Yeah.
beyond the
Well,
law.
it's-
And what I'm saying is that we, I guess, have a disagreement because I do not believe in censorship that goes beyond the law, and you do. We have a difference of opinion in that regard.
I understand that, but these are your own rules on your own platform. These go against the rules on your platform. That's why I'm asking you. If you said, listen, we allow everything, but that's not what your content rules say, and that's why I'm asking you, why are
No.
they still there? Your own content policy. That's why I'm asking you that, not because
Which part of our content policy says that we should delete these things?
your content policy talks about hate speech.
Yes, we don't.
You see how weak he points to your content policy. Musk says, "What part?" And then he says, This is how it should do. The content policy that I'm referring to is in paragraph 23, section 6, line 9, where your policy states this. Instead, he says, because he's weak as fuck and unprepared and a shitty interviewer and a shitty journalist, if he calls himself that, which is probably why Musk loved this softball, because he knew he's going to be weak, where he could say, "What are you talking about?" And he's going to say, "Your content policy talks about." No. Give me, you just quoted something without a quote. What are you talking about?
Is that what he's about to do, though?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Promote hate speech.
And so you don't consider that hate speech?
I guess you're not understanding what I'm saying. There's if there's you can find you can sign up right now and do 100 things that are hateful, but if nobody reads it, it doesn't matter. So you can think of X as being, it's much like the internet. It's not some tiny publication with like 20 articles a day. It's 500
understand that.
million.
But everyone has the opportunity to read it, Elon. It's not
And
that-
they
you
want
don't
the
know who's
opportunity to
gonna
read the internet. Are you suggesting we should shut down the internet?
Yeah.
But you don't own the internet. I'm asking you about you and your responsibility and your platform. And so I see how you feel now.
Oh.
You don't agree.
And I'm
we
gone.
Don't agree on this.
Yes, you want.
Never once made his point. Never once said one thing that Musk or his, and like I do this in my company. People are like, "Well, it's in the handbook." I wrote the handbook. It's my company. I could just change it. Like, you can't pull my handbook. Like, I have to change it, and then it's, I can't retroactively make it the case, but I could certainly change it anytime I want. He's doing that to Elon Musk. Like, no, I'm telling you what my policy is. And if something in my handbook leads you to some other belief, let me know and I'll clarify that. Right. But he doesn't say that. It talks about hate speech. Well, he already clarified. Is it illegal? Hate speech is illegal. Not protected by the Second Amendment. Is it illegal? Well, if it's not illegal, I'll say this once and for all on this matter. What Elon Musk is struggling to find here, and he's not really struggling anything. He's very cool, calm, and collected with this asshat. But freedom is not free. In order for there to be freedom, number one, there must be free speech. In order for there to be free thought, there must be free speech. If you control the language, you control the thoughts. Because at some point, if you're punished for your words, your brain will self-censor. Therefore, you are no longer free. That is currently happening in America and across the world today. That is why I say make America free again. That's why I say we are not free, because we are controlling speech enough to actually control people's words and thoughts. I have personal friends that are, high-level business people that censor themselves because they are afraid of the public persecution and the law of public opinion and the backlash that they will. Now it is converted to where they actually control. They will actually censor themselves. They are no longer free to think freely because of this. In order for us to have freedom, we must have free thought. Therefore, we must have free speech. And in order for us to have freedom, it comes with a cost. We call that the old freedom is not free. What Don Lemon is saying is, yeah, but someone could get hurt. No shit, Sherlock. But the opposite of someone could get hurt is millions of people get killed because we get enslaved. That's why. I wish Musk would get to that point, and I doubt he does because I've never heard him get to it.
Right.
You have to understand, people. What Don Lemon is saying is true. Like, this could incite someone to kill someone else. Correct. But oppression, okay, and taking away our freedoms will kill millions of people. Look back at any point in history where we don't, or any country where there is no freedom. It is far more dangerous to have no freedom than it is to fucking upset somebody or incite somebody to do some shit. That is the cost of freedom. The cost of freedom is the backlash or the lives that come from the freedoms. We and our founders and anyone with a brain have come to terms with the fact that it's the lesser of two evils to be free. He's not going to get to that point. No
He
way.
will not.
One
But
censorship
well done.
and I don't.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Huh.
Golf clap.
Thank you.
No, I don't want censorship at
Yes,
all.
you do.
No, I want responsibility. I think there's.
gotta
I
rewind
think
this
there.
Publication with like 20 articles a day. It's 500
understand that.
million.
But everyone has the opportunity to read it, Elon.
That's called freedom.
I think
that you
everyone
don't
has the
know who's
opportunity to
gonna
read
read
the internet. Are you suggesting we should shut down the internet?
No, but you don't own the internet. I'm asking you about you and your
called freedom.
responsibility and your platform. And so I see how you feel now. You don't agree. We don't agree on this.
Yes, you want censorship and I don't.
No, I don't want censorship at
Yes,
all.
you do.
No, I want responsibility. I think there's
Censorship.
I think there.
You desperately want censorship.
No, if I want a
You
censorship,
want censorship so bad you can taste it.
no, it's not true. It's not true. I think that there's right and wrong. And I think
therefore
that
you want censorship.
and I think that when you have a platform that's as big as yours and as powerful as yours and as influential as yours, and you are a person of consequence to the world with what you do, that there is a certain responsibility that goes along with what you have on your platform and what you put out to the world. And I think that's important. You don't see that responsibility.
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and if people want the law changed, they should talk to their elected representative and get the law changed, and then we will adhere to the law.
Okay.
But if you want us to go beyond the law, that is us deciding to be censors.
So
And I'm against censorship. I'm in favor of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning.
Whoa.
But I do think that there should be guardrails, and I believe in free speech as much as you. I would
Right
fight. I don't disagree. I don't agree with a lot of what you put out on social media, but I will fight for your right to be able to say it.
What?
A little contradictory there, wasn't it?
What a liar. Like, how can you do an entire interview, 45 minutes of talking about his right not to say what he wants or air what he wants, and then literally say, even if I disagree with you, I will fight for your right to say it. You're literally fighting right now out loud. Like, maybe he wasn't present for the last 45 minutes of his own interview. Dude, I don't even know. You want to rewind that and listen to it again?
Yeah, a couple seconds.
What a fucking idiot.
Guardrails, and I
Censorship.
believe in free speech as much as you. I would
No, you
fight. I don't
No, you don't.
disagree.
No.
I don't agree with a lot of what you put out on social media, but I will fight for your right to be able to say it.
No, you won't.
Okay, so listen, let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Elon
all right?
said
That's been
great.
a target of yours lately
Great.
on X. There was a repost of Ben Shapiro that you claim that DEI is killing people specifically you point to medicine. You claim that DEI programs are putting people at risk. Do you really believe this to be true? And what evidence do you have to support it?
Diversity,
what I was referring to
equity,
there
and
was that
inclusion.
If we lower the standards for doctors, such so that they, if the test for a doctor is lowered, then the probability of them making a mistake and killing someone is obviously going to be higher.
Wait, say that again. I'm not sure I understand what you said. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yes, if the standards for passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon, if the standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people, and that may result in people dying.
So pause that real quick.
What evidence do you have, though, that
I guess I'm a little ignorant to this fact. They're lowering the standards for these career fields in order to get more diversity?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Correct.
Like what?
No, Zach. It's racist.
Are you saying I'm too stupid to be a
No,
doctor?
you're racist. I'm saying that you are racist. If you don't want our medical standards lowered, you're a racist.
That's incredible. Incredible.
Bro. I love, like, I hope Elon Musk and Twitter pump this thing to 400 million views. This way, everybody could see how stupid this is. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting more in tune with the propaganda machine, and maybe I've just been so involved in it to where it's so crystal clear to me what is happening here that I see it so clearly. I just don't understand how you can watch this and not see this as like ridiculous. Elon Musk says, "No, all I'm saying is I don't want the standards for our doctors to be lowered, because then that creates crappier doctors, which creates worse medical care, which creates people dying unnecessarily or being sick, getting sick."
You can't make that correlation here, Don.
Well, if you say that, certainly he's a racist. Let's see how this unfolds.
Yes, if the standards for passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon,
Seems
if the
simple.
standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people, and that may result in people dying.
What evidence do you have, though, that they're lowering the standards? There's no evidence of that.
I believe there is.
There's no evidence of that.
Yes, there is.
What is the evidence?
I believe they've literally lowered the standards at Duke University, and that is what the article was referring to.
There's no
Are you
evidence
saying they
of
have
that.
not lowered the standards?
There's no evidence about lowering standards, and I think that there is.
I believe that is a false statement you're making.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll
I do
figure it
too.
out.
Yeah.
I think
the interesting thing is when this is posted on the X platform, there will be a whole bunch of things that rebut what you said and what I said.
Correct.
And so people can then make their own decision based on the replies and the rebuttals and the community notes.
I think that's fair, but I do think that on this particular topic, I do think that you and Ben Shapiro are reaching in about this, because there was what Ben posted said that he gave instances of people who were deliberately harming people. Nowhere in the thread does Ben suggest at all, I should say, that anyone is being killed as a result of DEI. That's purely speculative. There's research on DEI in medicine, and there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, that DEI is affecting medicine. Actually, only 5% of doctors are black, and a small percent.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I think you'll find that when this is posted to the X platform, that people will reply to it with evidence.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Okay. So, but that's my whole thing about
Maybe I'm wrong.
moderation. Maybe you're wrong, but you'll put it out there. You don't know if it's right. Do you think that your responsibility to make sure something is
God,
right
these guys
before
the
you,
worst.
the person who owns it, Elon Musk, who's a huge figure in the world, that you should know that it's true, that there are people at X who can get research for you before you put something out there like that. That's not necessarily true, even in other examples.
If I say something that is inaccurate, I'm immediately corrected on the platform. That's the advantage of a real-time system like X. So there will be immediately in the replies, people correcting me. There will be a community note that will correct me, which is attached to the actual post itself.
Do you think as many people read
Yes.
You think as many people read that as it reads your tweet?
Yes, in fact, and if there's a community note that happens later that where somebody didn't see, but they replied to that or interacted with that post, we will notify them that there is now a community note correcting that post.
Just so you.
Whereas if you consider the conventional media, that doesn't happen. Conventional media makes false statements all the time and nobody ever hears the correction.
When I was in conventional media, I can only speak for myself.
No.
If I got
no. Now all of a sudden you can only speak for yourself. Can Elon Musk only speak for himself? Well, he's the owner of Buckstock. No. He is now pretending to not know what Elon Musk just said is a fact. No, the fact is that this is a byproduct of free speech. Like, unfortunately, lies and opinions are a byproduct of free speech.
It happens.
And the fallout from that is the cost of free speech. Now, sincerely held beliefs. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Let's keep going. I can go on for
something wrong. If someone got something wrong on the platform that I was on, it was corrected, and we made sure that it was corrected. Now, I can't speak for anyone else.
I don't think that's a universal situation.
Okay. So I just want just the research. So when you talk, do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered? Do you actually believe people are dying because of that?
I believe that if we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor.
You're saying if we lower the standards,
yes.
But do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
I don't think that is yet an issue, but it could become an issue.
Okay. But the actual evidence in history shows the exact opposite. If you look at how minorities are treated by the medical system, most doctors now are white. And there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors are...
It's not about race, you idiot.
Medical care? I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI.
It's talking about the standards, not the skin color.
No, I said... So, if the standards, like let's say...
Let's go, Elon.
I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon is asked to... a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand
Pretty
that,
simple.
but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
You didn't say it was happening.
I said it will. I said if we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to something or put something out there that has not happened? Because I could say,
Because I don't want it to happen. I think we don't want to lower standards.
Okay, if you look at the history of the medical industry, especially when it comes to Black Americans, it shows the exact opposite. If you look at the Tuskegee experiment and on, only 5% of doctors in America are Black. All of them are white. So are you saying that if the majority of doctors are white, are you saying that and there are still these inequities, right? And there's still mistakes. Are you blaming DEI for that?
No, I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon or an oncologist or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards.
Hey, pause it. Yeah.
Therefore, we should not.
What he's saying is, I don't want dumb white surgeons either.
I don't want any dumb people.
The question should be, man, like, this is infuriating. Like, instead of if Don Lemon's point here is...
Bacardi Limon.
If his point is he's trying to tie Elon Musk into being a racist because he thinks that black people are dumb.
Correct.
Right.
And
if we have to lower the standard to get black people, more black doctors, why isn't the conversation like, how do we educate black people more to be able to pass the standards now? Like, it's instead of lowering the standard, let's raise the standard of the standard of education, whatever the case is. Like, it's not let's lower the standard so we can get more people in. It's let's make them smarter so they can pass the actual tests and meet the standard that is currently there.
And that's not to say that black Americans, brown Americans, women, Hispanic Americans, whoever Americans aren't smart enough. Some are, some aren't.
Right.
I think they do this with women, okay? Women's equality. They fail to understand, or not understand. Surely they understand. They fail to take into consideration in their air quote studies that women don't want that job. They don't want to do it. Women overall, the vast majority of women don't want to work on an oil rig.
Yep.
Boom. Maybe culturally, it's a culture issue. Black Americans or whoever the hell, I don't even know who he's talking about. I assume he's talking about women and black people.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe they don't want to be doctors. Why? Because whatever that is. So maybe, to your point, the discussion should be, how do we, if we're seeking diversity, because there is some level of truth to a more diverse America equals a better balanced and a more successful America. Okay. If you zoom that on into a medical field or individual field, and we have a lack of diversity, I think we start like with the question, hey, do you want to do this? Because if you have doctors that don't want to be doctors, we've got a lower standard. We've got a shittier doctor.
So what they're trying to say is, if you do not agree with the DEI and lowering of the standard, that you're a racist. I would say in reverse. If you feel like we need to lower the standards to get more diversity, you're a racist.
100%.
You're saying black people are too stupid to meet the standard right now. And they're not. If they want to do it, they'll do it.
Correct.
Like,
Lots of black doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. I hate this.
Yeah. This part is frustrating for sure.
It's gotten worse. It's good though. Throughout the show, Don Lemon's gotten shittier at proving his points and more skilled in proving his deficiencies.
All over the standards.
But why do you think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors, or?
That's what that's what that article suggested. Yes, at Duke University.
Okay. The evidence that I have shows that that's not true.
Oh, there it is.
Listen, after the door.
Same thing. The evidence that I have, the studies that I have, show that that's not true. Pat, that's it. Move on.
Oh, let's see it.
No. Yeah. What? No.
Or blew off this.
I mean, we could go to the article
mid-flight
right
Miss
now.
Alaskan Airlines flight. Do you remember that? You responded to a post claiming that the average HBCU grad was less intelligent than the average airline pilot, and stated that it will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of DIE. I don't know if did you misspell it on purpose, which it should be DEI. Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
How many times I got to say this, Don?
Did you hear what he said though? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Elon Musk's post about people dying in a plane crash, he switched the acronym, the letters around, and put DIE, which is die.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice
I
that.
know. I could tell you didn't notice. That's why I was looking at telling you your face. You still don't get it, huh? Flew over your head. You gotta assume. And Don Lemon called it out. And for your audio listeners, he didn't. Elon Musk almost didn't respond at all to that facially. But you got to assume he
Yeah, a little play on words
little,
there.
yeah, a little play on letters.
A little play on letters.
Okay. But there's no evidence that standards are being lowered when it comes to the airline industry.
You've repeatedly said that there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, and watch the replies showing all the evidence that it is.
Replies, though, on social media or on Twitter are not necessarily fact and evidence.
No, they will
That's people's
they
opinion.
will cite
Okay.
all the reply,
see.
in the replies to this. You will see how often the information is cited, showing that indeed there are significant cases where
For sure.
standards are lowered.
And I do hope that happens. I do hope that happens, and I look forward to it. And as you said, if you're wrong, then you're wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm glad we're having this conversation, debating. This is what we should be doing, debating the issue. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and then I'll be proven in the thing, and you as well. But I just want to tell you that pilot that you talked about, in fact, was a woman pilot, landed the plane safely despite the major malfunction with the equipment. Boeing has taken responsibility for that incident, saying that it was caused by a faulty door panel. So I'm not sure what that had to do with lowering the standards for pilots when it was a faulty.
No, it's not lowering standards for pilots. It's the incentive structure. I believe at Boeing changed to include DEI as a fundamental executive incentive. In my view, it should be purely about passenger safety.
Okay, but do you understand how by saying just that standards are being lowered, that you're implying that they're being lowered because people are less skilled and less intelligent, and you're talking about people of color and or women?
Look, I'm saying we should not lower standards.
But do you?
Pretty simple.
You don't-
That's it.
I think everyone can agree that you shouldn't lower standards.
Okay.
Great. That's
But you're
all.
implying that they're lowering standards because of people of color or women, because someone is not a white male. You're saying that they're less skilled and less intelligent.
No.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that they are.
Then why would they be lowering the standards?
I don't know. Why are they lowering the standards?
Just so you know, 5% of pilots are female, 4% are black.
Great
So
question.
you're
Cool.
talking about this widespread takeover of minorities and women when that's not actually true.
I'm not saying there's a
Standards
widespread takeover.
Well, you're saying that the standards are being lowered because of certain people. And you don't believe in DEI, right? Do you not believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I think we should be treat people according to their skills and their integrity, and that's it.
The
Do
content
you
of
know
their
that
character.
studies show?
Oh, here we go.
Studies show.
Yeah, well, we can look them up. But- So
I
your
love that
reaction to
Musk
studies
is
show,
also
and I
getting annoyed
understand,
with
right?
studies
Because
show.
I always like to point to an exact study, right?
Sure.
Something that is factual. It's the same thing
Oh,
when you talk about,
are they?
well, let's see what the reply.
This is the lie. They say a study is factual. It's only factual based on the input of the study. I can agree that probably studies are factual, like
Some, yeah.
maybe all of them. Like obviously not all of them, but maybe most, 99%, like whatever it is. It's factual based on whatever the input to that study is. Meaning you can make it factual however you want just by leaving out information.
Right.
And then you say that is factual to prove a point that isn't the point you're trying to prove. So I'm pulling out a study that's factual. That might be true, but it doesn't match the point you're trying to make.
Leaving some shit out
Right.
there.
You're pointing to a study saying it's factual to prove a point that doesn't correlate with the study. It's a lie. It's propaganda. It's bullshit.
Replies are on Twitter or on X.
Yes, they'll cite the evidence.
So I feel the same. I feel the same way about that. But this is what studies have shown, and people will reply and they'll say that companies with more diversity and their leadership teams have reported higher innovation rates than those with lower diversity or low diversity, and they're better companies.
They would not say that companies that lowered their standard for employment are better companies.
Right.
They would say the opposite. So what he says is This study is a fact. I'm just pointing to this study to prove that what Elon Musk is saying is wrong. But what Elon Musk is, he's not talking about diversity. He's talking about lowering the standards for employment.
And Don is just trying to hammer this point, black and white point home.
Right.
Yeah. Trying
And
to,
how can the listeners, this is the exact example of why the mainstream media, CNN and Don Lemon and Fox News, they do the same shit, are number one, going out of business. They're collapsing. They're crashing and burning. He is putting on full display how they use, quote, facts and deception to trick people. He is literally saying, Elon Musk is saying that he's against diversity. And Don Lemon is saying, if you have a more diverse company, you're going to be more successful. What Elon Musk is actually saying is, I don't think we should lower the standards, and I think we should hire people based on their character and their skills. But Don Lemon is pitching he's saying something different in effort to make him a racist. And why is he making him a racist? Because there's only a few things worse than being a racist, and they're not a lot.
right.
Yeah. Trying to make him be the worst person ever.
And they make more money. This whole idea about DEI, if you go woke or whatever, you go broke, that's not necessarily true.
Yes, it
People
is.
With diverse leadership teams and diverse workers make more money and more innovative.
Like I said, my view is that the only basis for promoting somebody should be their skills, talents, and their integrity, and that's it.
Character. Boom.
I want to ask you about, there's a federal government, EEOC, they are also currently involved in a lawsuit against Tesla that alleges that there's a history of widespread racial harassment against black Tesla employees, as well as a pattern of retaliation for speaking out. What do you say to that?
I don't believe that is true. I think we've got a very good, like if you walk around the Tesla Fremont plant, I think it's a very good atmosphere. In fact, I practically lived there for 3 years trying to make the production work.
Were you aware, if you lived there, were you aware of such behavior?
I never saw it.
So you're saying that this is not true, it's not happening?
Correct.
Well, I mean, there's over 20,000 people. So you say, like, if there's over 20,000 people in one building, well, is everyone going to behave perfectly? No. Did I see any situations that I thought were improper? I did not.
Let's talk about trans rights and the woke mind virus, because you've talked about that a lot. You're right about that a lot on the thing. You have been deeply outspoken about the issue of trans rights. You posted trans rights. You posted that pronouns and bio mean the woke mind virus ate your brain. Do you know what the term woke actually means?
I tend to agree.
It's come to mean a lot of things.
What originally it was meant.
Doesn't matter what it was meant
just
to
being
mean.
aware
What does it
of
mean now?
Inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
I hate him.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course, but trying to blame everything on trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm.
Yeah, race or gender or whatever.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on. I think we should treat people like people.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways inequities? That still continue on to this day?
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country. And obviously slavery was present in about half of this country. And no, but was not present in the North. There was racism for sure, but the I think we want to look to the future rather than the past, and instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
Yes.
Everyone was a slave.
No, every
We are all descended from slaves.
yes.
Yeah. Well,
All of us.
yeah.
So it's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make a part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's
The
actually in
evidence
practice.
shows.
Fuck this guy, man.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true. I agree with that.
Good answer.
But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who are able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
Whoa.
Like, Elon looks legitimately insulted by that.
It's the most racist shit you can ever say. Like, how can Elon Musk's successes be because of the color of his skin, while Don Lemon's successes are not because of the color of his skin? It's literally the perfect example of racism. It's just racism. Like, if one thing is true, then another must be true. I understand that two things can be true at the same time, but have opposite missions or meanings. But, dude, there's no grounds. Well, let's see what Musk says. I would be telling him,
I worked my ass off to
Right.
be where I am.
Did
Thank
you
you
not-
very much.
did you not hear me just say I practically lived at my work for 3 straight years to make sure that we can produce cars and didn't fail? But he says it's because you're white. You're a white male. That's why you got that. No. Again, two things can be true at the same time. I am a white male, and I earned what I have. I worked my ass off for it. Same thing for Don Lemon. I know why they're doing this. I'm going to stop acting surprised.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Yeah.
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that
An ease.
many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here
it was
as
very difficult
slaves.
for me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Do you have any desire to understand what many people of color and even trans people, how they feel about this country,
Even
and how they're
trans.
treated in this country? If they say and they believe that they are treated a certain way in this country, why don't you believe them?
You cannot have a situation where someone is a self-described victim, and they just get to be that because that's how they feel.
Yep.
I think that does happen in some cases, but not all cases. And I think that not understanding the history of the country, I think, is a real shame. Look,
We should understand the history of the country and other countries.
I've had incredible opportunities as a person of color.
Right.
But I've also
You're doing very well.
But I've also been discriminated against, and
Were your opportunities because of the color of your skin, and the discrimination was because of the color of your skin? And what makes you so much different than everyone else in the world, where there are positives and negatives?
I know that I have, and I know that that's real. And for someone to say that that isn't happening, I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past, is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it.
I didn't say that you said
I'm
it.
saying that we want to. We as a country should move beyond questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, their character and their skills.
I don't think that anyone will disagree with that.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is that that's not happening and is not equal for everyone. That those opportunities
Prove
don't
it.
happen for everyone. And I am a living example that they don't. I know that they don't because I live it.
But isn't the DEI premise of giving people opportunities based on the color of their skin or gender?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the guy is saying, I'm living proof of someone who is discriminated against that doesn't have an opportunity, when literally 3 minutes ago he said, I have been given a tremendous amount of opportunity as a black man. I want you to censor, but I will fight for your right to say it. What? I hope the world sees this.
You've been incredibly successful.
I have been.
Yeah, there we go.
In spite of it all. But I
In
am.
spite of it all.
I know what I know. I've experienced what I've experienced. You haven't done that. And I cannot, I don't know what it's like to be from South Africa. I don't know what it's like to be a white man. I don't know what it's
Then
like
why
to be
are
a
you
woman. I don't
pretending
know-
to? How can it, are you listening to this? He's literally saying, you don't know, because you got this, you got that, telling you all the things that he knows about being a white man, and then fucking 2 minutes later he says, I don't know what it's like.
But I know you got here because you're white.
Right. You just said you know what it's like. And get him, Elon.
know what it's like to be a Latino person. I don't know that, so I wouldn't speak for them and just say, you need to move on.
You just
That's
did.
not for me to say.
You just said
Maybe
the
I
white people need to
believe
move
that
on.
The country, it would be great if the country could live up to that ideal. You think that everyone has the same opportunities in America, regardless of their background and ethnicity. Do you agree?
No, I don't think everyone has the same opportunities.
Okay.
No.
So when you talk
'Cause
about,
they
let's talk
don't.
about trans
'Cause they don't.
rights,
Black
when you
or white.
decided
Right. Nope.
to talk about the trans rights movement, you said that it was a woke mind virus. Why do you believe the trans rights movement is a woke mind virus?
Because it
What
is.
do you mean by woke mind virus?
Woke mind virus is
I love that.
when you stop caring about people's skills and their integrity, and you start focusing instead on gender and race and other things that are different from that. I think the woke mind virus is fundamentally racist, fundamentally sexist, and fundamentally evil.
Okay.
And
Evil.
We've got a little bit more time, so
Yeah.
you choose your question.
Okay,
carefully.
so okay, thank you for that.
Oh, that was
you-
great.
I would
I'm
appreciate
done with you now.
answering
Done.
these. I think it's important that we're doing this. I think it's important to the world to hear this, especially what's going on in our country. The reason I ask you, listen, there are a whole lot.
Dude, he just told Don Lemon, we've got a little bit more time, so choose your questions wisely. How gangster is that?
That is gangster.
You're on my platform. You're in my building. You need me. I'm the only way you're getting a single rating or a single view. I'm cutting you off. Choose your questions wisely, Mr. Lemon. What a gangster move that is. Like,
Let's see. Do you think he chooses his questions wisely?
no. No way. No, if I had to guess, I think he fiddle fucks, fumbles, rumbling, fumbling, stumbling, back, gone. No way
Done.
he gets another, I don't know.
Done lemon.
No way he gets another 5 good questions in. 3. I don't know. I don't know how much time he's got. Let's see.
Lot of things that people maybe have questions about when it comes to transgender people. Even
Well,
people who are part of the
so no.
LGBTQ plus community have
Let's stay
questions
here.
about that.
Yeah.
But if you are a free speech absolutist, right, and that is part of the First Amendment, also the freedom of expression falls under that First Amendment as well. So why can't people choose to identify with the gender that they feel comfortable with, or
They
with
can.
the use a pronoun? Isn't that part of freedom of expression?
Yep.
I guess no, that they can ask others to do whatever they feel they can ask others to do anything. It's a different question whether they mandate that others do that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pretend to be a girl all you want. I don't have to call you a girl.
Right. And the moment that, dude, I don't care what you do. This concept that Elon Musk, dude, I wish I just had the demeanor of the calm nature, direct nature, and words that Elon Musk has, and the ability to stop, think, put together the words, and then say it. Because it's very simple. Elon Musk is speaking on behalf of all of us. I don't care what you do, as long as you don't force it on me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't make me play your game, I don't care what game you're playing. That is what we mean by that. All of us free speech absolutists don't give a shit how you express yourself, as long as you don't give a shit that I roll my eyes and walk the hell away from you. The moment you stop me from rolling my eyes, and when you do that, you call me a racist or a bigot or a sexist or a transphobe or a homophobe, or like, I'm none of that. I'm not afraid of any of you. I'm afraid of your agenda, because what your agenda is trying to do is take away my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't take away my freedom, I don't give a shit what you do. They're trying to take that away. That's what I speak on behalf of all of us. I don't care what you do. Just don't force me to play along.
Let's talk more about free speech and for advertisers.
He's also 0 for 1 on good question.
Right. Because
Swinging him.
all this controversy, I believe, as you know, has made X less appealing to advertisers. About half of them have left the platform. You call advertisers that left X.com. You said they were oppressors. You've even gone as far as saying it publicly that they can go F themselves or go fuck themselves.
If they're going to force censorship on the company before advertising, then obviously.
Then they can go fuck themselves. Then they can
go F yourself.
Yeah. Then what I said stands.
I find that unacceptable.
You find it unacceptable. Why is that not a form of free speech? They are free to advertise where they want. They're not beholden to. They're not obligated to advertise.
They're not obligated.
On X.com.
Right.
So, how is that not free speech?
That's.
What is he saying?
Whereas the other platforms will censor on behalf of advertisers, the X platform will not.
Okay. So, but you think you don't think it's okay for them not to advertise with or have their content or their advertisement next to something that is anti-Semitic or
That is a different question. You can absolutely choose where next to which content do you want your advertising to appear. Absolutely, of course. And we have, I think, very good ad placement controls in this regard.
Yeah. So you said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're
John, I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left. So is this the question you want to ask?
the same question is you said that.
I think it's fair to say that Elon Musk took question number 2 as
a swing and a miss.
a swing and a miss. We're going to call it 0 for 2 on at least Elon Musk's opinion on the questions. And I just so happen to agree. 2 for 2. 0 for 2, I mean.
Yep.
Ding.
That they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you?
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America.
Amen.
The First Amendment.
I
And I'm
hope
going to
that's
stick
true,
to that.
dude.
And if that means making less money, so be it.
So I have to be, listen, I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to, get you or anything.
You aren't?
I was just surprised that you would blame
doesn't
other
feel
people for
God.
killing the company. I mean, when you say the buck stops with the president of the United States, regardless of what happens, right?
Yep.
So, why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
It's not what?
Not cogent.
Cogent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If given a choice where an advertiser is saying, like, you have to censor all this content on the platform, irrespective of where their advertising appears, then our answer will be like, look, you can choose where you want your advertising, what you want your advertising to appear next to, but you can't insist on censorship of the entire platform. And if you insist on censorship of the entire platform, even where your advertising doesn't appear, then obviously we will not want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers who have left the platform or who are considering coming back or not coming back? What would you like to say to them?
Well, first of all, almost all of our advertisers are coming back to the platform. So it's a very short list of advertisers who are not coming back to the platform. And our advertising revenue is rising rapidly. And our subscription revenue is rising rapidly. And I feel very optimistic about the future of the X platform.
Okay. Listen, I'm honestly, I'm not meaning to offend you. You're an intense person. Where does that intensity come from?
I was born that way. And I had a tough childhood.
Yes.
So, yeah.
How so?
Right, Walter Isaacson goes into it in the book, and we only have a couple minutes left, so
All right.
too long to describe. So the one or two questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Okay. Again, I don't mean to upset you. Why are you just...
No, I have a whole room full of people waiting to meet with me,
Okay.
so we're just going over time.
Okay. All right. I understand that.
Yeah, you told me we had an hour
So
at the beginning.
When you talk about, you said you were born that way. Is that, did you think that the way that you see the world has to do with your relationship with anyone, perhaps your father or someone in your family?
0 for 3.
I think we're all affected by the people we grew up with. My aspiration is
Yes,
uh,
dipshit.
do whatever it takes to extend consciousness into the future. That's my goal.
Whoa.
To make life multiplanetary as part of extending consciousness into the future.
Have the past few years, and considering everything that's gone on, has it been difficult for you and your family life?
It's been okay.
So then, how do you see your legacy, Elon? How do you see how people
let's
see you
I-
in the...
First of all, I say that if I died knowing that I did what was right, or did my best to do what was right, and even if in the history books they said I did wrong, I would still feel okay about that. I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. I think we should view civilization as tenuous, as
right.
fragile. If you do study history broadly, you'll see that there's a rise and fall to civilizations. They don't always go up. So we should do everything we possibly can to preserve and extend civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
And improve it. To become more enlightened over time. And we therefore want to address civilizational risks. We want to make sure that we don't have, for example, demographic collapse, which is the case in a lot of countries, just very low birth rate. We want to avoid World War III, anything that is a civilizational risk. That's what I care about, civilizational risks. How do we extend consciousness into the future such that we are able to better understand the nature of reality?
Yeah.
I don't think Don was expecting that answer.
Dude, these last like 5 minutes, you can tell, maybe 10 minutes, you can tell when Elon Musk said, Don, we're
about done here.
We're about done. Choose wisely. From that moment on, Don Lemon so shook. So shook.
Yeah. He's like stumbling over himself.
Dude. And yes, 0 for 3 or however many questions he is. But Elon Musk is doing a really good job putting a bow on this thing. Like, here's what I'm saying. Now, I don't agree with a lot of it or some of it, not a lot of it. I do agree with finding, the meaning and the truth, and I do agree with finding whatever he said. I don't know about extending consciousness and being multiplanetary. Maybe I agree with that, but extending consciousness seems it's way too transhuman-y, but anyway.
That's what I care about. That's my motivation.
I know you have to go. If you'll just give me, I'll do a rapid fire thing here.
Rapid
Is there
fire.
anything that you would change about anything that you've done in your life in the past or recently?
I've made many mistakes over the years. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and fix them. But I don't have a time machine.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
What
much.
a way to end it.
Gone.
That's it. And as Elon would say, you be the judge. Let me tell you something about this show. The conversation doesn't end just because the camera stops. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Ooh, powerful.
Oh, God. Yeah, shut up.
I love
Dude.
how he ended the last question he had was, would you go back and change anything you've ever done? Well, yeah, of course. Bye. What a fucking stupid question.
They were all stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe Elon needs to come on this show. I'll pay for him to come out. I'll send the jet.
He doesn't need your money. Stop trying to flex on Elon.
Maybe I'll send it to Donald Trump then. Anyway, people, all right, let's wrap this thing up.
Do you want any of these comments?
Oh, we're going to do that? All right, well, we're not going to wrap this thing because Zach's got some comments.
Real quick.
All
So
right, let's
the
hear it.
video on X, I was just kind of searching through. There are some people who think Don got him, and
No, there's not.
looked at. I promise you there was.
Those are
But here's some of the
bots.
best ones. This is one of the most painfully watched interviews I've ever
Oh,
seen.
I agree with that.
You're constantly condescending, smug, and asking loaded questions as if this were a deposition rather than an interview. If you want to know if this type of journalism is going to survive past the legacy media who created this style of interview, look no further than the comment section. You are an activist pretending to be a journalist, and that fact is painfully obvious.
I agree with that.
Yep.
He is not a journalist. He's an activist. And activists lie for their point of activism.
You are an activist. That's multiple times on here.
I agree.
Laugh my ass off. You got an opportunity to interview arguably one of the most important person of our era, and you spent the entire time trying to one-up him.
So stupid.
Oh,
It's
these
true.
are great. All right, last one.
All right, let's hear it.
Saw the interview. Felt like watching a house cat suddenly put into the wild. Don's not ready. It's pretty clear why Elon preferred not to pay extra for the content. Those in mainstream media have not had to defend their ideas. As a result, their minds have been atrophied. Don doesn't realize it, but he repeatedly contradicts himself, uses faulty logic, and comes across as not very smart.
I think those are all the things that we said during the show. Like,
That's hilarious.
yeah, we agree with at least some of those. And if you are people who are on the opposite side of that, let me do this. I'm going to offer any listener that we have or anyone to our listeners, if you know someone who agrees with Don Lemon on this, let's get him on the show.
Yeah.
Let's
Come on.
let's rewatch it. Matter of fact, what we'll do is we'll go back through, we'll clip out 5 sections of it that we want explanations from someone who agrees with that ridiculousness shit. And we'll get them on and we'll have a very civil conversation and we'll hear them out. Maybe we are just so blind and Don Lemon really is a brilliant, incredible journalist. And Elon Musk is a racist who hates women and advertisers. Or whatever else he was trying to prove. I have no idea. Anyway, thanks for reading those. Thanks for stopping me on my outro.
Yeah,
because
those are funny.
Yeah, I appreciate
But
that.
I was even more shocked there were actually some people who thought Don got him.
I think those are bots, dude.
That could be.
I think those are like bot farms.
They are few and far between, though. Most people think Don is an idiot.
And that is why, for all you farking idiots who think Elon Musk wanted Don Lemon on his platform for any other reason than monetary and to allow him a platform to expose himself, which is what they're doing, which is what he's doing.
Yep.
You know what? Come on. I would love to have you on X to make yourself in front of everyone look like an idiot. And we checked the box on diversity, inclusion, and equity. Or equity and inclusion. Anyway, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for your love and your support. Please share the show, like it. Sorry, we're not doing any whiskey today, but we'll do that again someday.
Soon.
Yeah. In the meantime, be sure, as always, to find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose. Peace.
Boom.